What is happening, y'all? Welcome on back to our continuation of the Demon Fort of the Yellow Heaven. Now, in the last episode, we picked up a very important item, a Cup of Cordiality. I want to briefly start this video off by talking about it. Now, you can see we have a title tab over here. Going over here and to the title list, we can see we just got 2 more of those cups. And the way that you get these cups is in addition to finding them in certain areas and levels, as you complete various actions and your fame increases, you can get them. So as you can see here, for slaying a certain number of bandits, I got 5 fame. When I slay 100 bandits, I get more. Slaying soldiers, I get fame. So basically everything you do in the game is going to give you these. Slaying enemies with specific weapon types, obtaining a certain amount of artifacts, everything you do. And all this is going to be passive. However, the cups are incredibly useful because we can use those to basically power level our reinforcements. So going over to reinforcements, Liu Bei is at Oath level 2. And as I mentioned, we are going to be working towards getting his set. So if I give him a cup, level 5, level 6, level 8. And I'm giving him our 3 cups. And now we basically need to play like a mission and a half with him. We should have him at a high enough Oath level that we get the Pair Swords of Aspiration as well as the Man of Benevolence set. Now, if you don't want to do the respec in the upcoming episodes, we're going to be, like I said, it's going to be a hybrid build. We're going to be doing water, wood, and earth. But if you're liking the earth playstyle with the slower weapons, going for the 1U set is very good. It's going to be focused. It's going to give you a glaive, and it's going to be earth focused. Zhao Yun set is going to be earth focused, and it's going to give you a spear. Zhang Fei set is going to be a spear that scales with fire. Sun Jian, as I mentioned, that's going to be a curved sword, a curved sword that scales with metal. And there's going to be more. If you're waiting for a different weapon with fire, we have Sun Ce coming up. He has dual tonfas, or excuse me, dual halberds that scale with fire that are really nice. But to be honest, picking somebody that you want to level with and getting their armor set is the best way to get a build started in this game. And I can't stress enough how important it is, because once you get a full set of 4-star armor and you're able to put affixes on it and develop it out to be exactly what you want, you're going to see a significant improvement in just how strong you are in fights throughout the game. With everything, bosses, normal enemies, it is a night and day difference. So we're going to be working towards the Liu Bei set, which is very beginner friendly. It has a lot of healing. It has healing off deflect, so a lot of sustain. Just a good general set, but you don't have to use that. You're free to use whatever you want. I would just suggest going with a set that kind of aligns with a weapon that you're enjoying. But with all that being out of the way, let's continue along. And so instead of going straight through those doors, I'm gonna... Is he gonna attack again? No? We're gonna climb on up. And we get a little piece of loot. And we're going to go around. Drop. And go ahead and get that marking flag. Go ahead and open this door. From here, I'm going to try and get a sneaky attack on this enemy. Big hits. Let's go ahead and loot that elixir. We'll get the genuine key clot. And we'll get some more leather. Right over here, we got a warlock. He's gonna walk up, give him the business. He is down. And give this guy the business as well. Really starting to pump out the damage on our hit spells now. That's the thing. Once you start really getting up into a particular element, like 20, 30, 40, once you start getting up there, you start to see pretty serious damage that you're capable of pushing out. So, same thing. You can see right there we applied both to him and knocked him out. So yeah, I mean, if you don't want to do Liu Bei, if you want to do somebody else, like, don't get me wrong, Earth is plenty good. To be honest, the main reason I'm swapping is I think one of the endgame spells for water, I think, is one of the best nukes in the game, but the one you're seeing me use right now is a very good nuke. Like if you want to play with Earth. Well, actually, you know what? The next time that we go to a thing, I'll talk about some of the endgame spells that I would recommend. Right, so that's cleared out mostly everything. That Dragon Vein Crystal. Go. Pop that. I think I misspoke earlier, but basically there's 2 items like that to look out for. One of them is going to increase the potency of your heal. The other is going to increase the amount of heals you have available. So just keep that in mind that there are 2 different archetypes. This. Now you notice there's a hole up there in the roof, and there's a way to get into this room, but also a way to do something else, and that's what we're going to do next. So, like this. And hop up. Hop up. Hop up. Whoop. And you can see that's the hole in the roof, but we're going to run past that. We're going to grab this. And we're going to take this little side path. And where does this bring us? Well, none other than the marking flag we saw earlier. With that, you are at all 7 of them. Now this level is the first time you'll contend with an invasion in this game. Invasions are typically NPCs, but they can also be players. I want to say you can actually turn off player invasions. Yes, here we go, online settings. So for some reason you really hate the idea of fighting against other players, online settings, invasions by hostile players do not allow. You're still going to have to fight NPC players, but you can turn off and not have to deal with other players. Personally, I think it's a big part of the experience. I wouldn't turn it off, but you know, I believe in allowing people to play however they're most comfortable. And if the idea of PvP is just something that's not for you, then why not enjoy the game without having to do that? Right, and then I'm going to head on up. As we continue up, you're going to head on over to the left, right here, and just hop up that. Oh, struggling a little bit to hop up that. Hop up this. There we go. There we go. Go ahead and open that chest up. Go. Get on over there. Great Sedimentor. That's another one of the key items that you're going to need. I need to be collecting all of those to get a platinum trophy. I think I have them all so far. Let me just check in my key item area, make sure there's nothing that I'm missing. I believe there's... I want to say I did miss one, but we can always do a recap thing. Ah, there we go. You sense the imminent threat of an enemy invasion force. So that is the factor that a player is most likely coming in. If I can, I'd like to kill this thing beforehand, but I'll wait for it to turn around and get a critical. Beast mode.
Until the enemy has fallen. Spirit empowers me, both body and soul. I cannot believe I have been cornered. Your valor has been made evident.
Ooh, man, this guy is spicy.
My apologies. Thank you. I will have to repay the favor. In your debt.
gonna raise the battle flag. That's gonna heal everybody to full. Get the final morale. Oh, did it? I think it kicked them out of the game, so we got the battle flag. Yeah, it did. Wow, I didn't know that. Well, hey, you learn something new every day. That sucks. That guy he was tearing up my NPCs, but I figured I would just grab the battle flag so we had it and we're here. I didn't think it was going to boot him out. That's a little disappointing. Well, wherever you're at, Beast Mode, it was a good try, but, you know. I think we know how that fight was going to go down. My big hammer was going to bonk your head. Anyway, let's go ahead and rest. We're going to go ahead, level up, put on some wizardry spells. Take this off and put back on Absorb Vitality. As I mentioned, really like the utility of that skill. And let's talk about the boss here. So, Zhang Jiao is considered wood aligned, so he's going to rain a bunch of lightning down. Even though wood is actually the counter to earth, we actually can mess him up with earth. He has such a large enemy model that we're able to really push a lot of damage into him very easily with the current spell setup that we have. Go ahead and level up. I'll actually go fast. Just put that in. So he can spit out a Warlock Orb that needs to be deflected, and then he has a big stand-up slam that also needs to be deflected. But honestly, I don't think this fight's that bad. What I would suggest doing is go in, empower Zhao Yun, empower Liu Bei, drop your Divine Beast, drop out a couple of our imposing slabs, and he's going to go down pretty easily.
I will not rest until the enemy has fallen.
Let's see, he's making all that lightning rain. I'm going to go ahead and summon this up now.
Alliance is unmatched. Across the land.
See, we're already getting earth on him. We're just being real aggressive on him, not giving him any time to really do anything. Put the bog out, keep it nice and slow. Oh no, he got me with the critical grab. That's okay. Put it behind him and one hit and summon up the earth again for another big stun. Climb up and go for the finisher. And like I said, Earth, using Earth there, we didn't even really have to pay attention to his mechanics. We were able to pretty much just explode him. And with a proper build and the right amount of the right spells, I should say, you're going to see a lot of that later on in the walkthrough. Not every boss is going to be that easy, but there are certainly some that we're going to be able to do that too, like this one, for example. And one thing to keep in mind too is obviously we were morale level 25 in this fight, so we had the morale advantage, which just makes it that much easier to go in and bully a boss like that. They're not going to all be that easy, and I do think it's important to understand that, keep the context of that. But anyway, this will bring us to the main hub. There we are, the Hidden Village. Now, we can do a couple things here, but before we go into the Hidden Village, there is a little bit more that we're going to do. Obviously, going online, you now have the ability to invade yourself. We are going to be hopping on over and doing the Flying Swallow mission that I mentioned at the start of this episode. We're going to go ahead and get this done. Before we actually do anything in the village, we're going to do the next mission and search the Immortal Wizard, because after we do that, we're going to unlock the ability to respec, which is the main thing at the village, the main reason we want to go there. So we're trying to get that acquired first. I'm going to go ahead and summon up Liu Bei. Need to keep getting his level up.
You shall have my aid.
Let's go. Let's start bringing Hong Jin along. So from here, we're going to go to the right and up for some leather. And then down and take the path to the enemy and chest. What's up, boys? Alright, and then take Path, enemy, and chest. And warlock one below. Over here. Where'd he go? Kill him. Hang on there. I see you hiding back there, trying to get sneaky and hide from me. Oh, sir. Now this mission, there's just one NPC that we have to kill, but he's buffed right now by a couple warlocks. So the goal here is to basically run around killing all those warlocks, which will then weaken him and make it an easier kill. Make sure you hop that gap. Go ahead and open that. And we can see the first of the warlocks that are buffing him here. There we go. Resilient bugger. So let's see. Warlock below, climb up the structure, plunge Warlock number 2, continue along for Shiatsu near ladder. And Warlock 3, climb ladder and stop Warlock 4. Okay, got it. So from here. Here. Next Warlock is right over there. We're gonna actually plunge this one since he has some loot over there he's guarding. Gonna take him out. And pick up that Ubo dice. The rest of this area, this is just zombie dudes. So if you want to kill them, you can. Obviously, it's going to give you a little bit of morale. You can see we're not really missing anything. The big thing was the steel that was over there that we already grabbed. So if you want to kill all those zombie dudes, that's on you. Go ahead and round this corner though, and we have one of our little buddies. Let's see. Let's sort by rarity. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that'll actually work with my new build too. So I'll drop the white wooden cudgel. Like how everyone else is just fighting, and I'm just over here like, yeah, Panda, eat that up. Thank you. Actually, two bubo dice we got in this mission. Let's take a look at both of them. Luck, damage reduction upon HP recovery. That is about to be insane. And spirit damage and shock accumulation. Wow, that's basically like a best in slot for what our build is about to become. What about accessory 2? Luck. Oh, so these are always luck rolls. Very nice. Positive effect duration, negative effect duration on enemies, shock accumulation, and lightning attack power. Those are both just really, really solid considering we are about to be working lightning into our build. I mean, it's not going to be a ton, but still, that's amazing. It's really good. Well, you know, that's the thing with this game. Like I said, it's a lot of it's RNG. You know, you might not get rolls that are as good, but you might find stuff that I didn't get, and vice versa. Stop this. Silly bitch. Hop up. Bonk. More than likely, I should probably keep leveling Zhao Yun for Earth, because we're not going to completely get rid of it, but you'll understand more when we get to respecking. Alright, let's get this. Throwing knife action. climb up. Okay, and I'll pull out the crossbow with the bow for this. Snipe you. Beautiful. So, where did he go? Just saw him. Oh, there he is. Look at him, just blending right in. Kind of hard to see. There's a couple loots down here that we can grab. Grab that leather. And then all we need to do is just kill this guy. So, we can get on up, get the critical.
Zhang is my name. You look strong. Let me see what you're made of.
I'm going to let them take care of him for a second. See if there is still the leather over here, if that's only during the level. Yeah. That's the thing, is even with taking all these notes and doing these missions, when you're refighting through zones, it's very easy to get your stuff mixed up. Boom! Another glorious victory. And he goes on down.
Not like those stupid fanatics. I surrender. I'll swear loyalty to the imperial court.
You turn tables real fast on whose team he was on. But anyway, with that out of the way, we're going to head on back to the hidden village, and there's a couple things we're going to talk about before we wrap this episode up. So I did mention that we're going to be talking about respecking in the next part, but since we're here and we're only at 20 minutes, you know, we can do a quick tour of the hidden village. So a couple things, and that hut is where respec's going to be. We'll get to there a little bit later. Right down here is one of the main places you're going to spend most of your time at the village, the blacksmith.
Welcome. Good. It's been as a result.
Now, the blacksmith menu is greatly expanded now. We have embedment, we have decorate, salvage. Let's start talking about the most basic. Decorate is going to allow you to just change how stuff looks. So we go on over to our weapon, we look at our club. You know, maybe you don't like that it's the spiky club, you want it to look like a big wooden hammer instead. That's it. It's going to cost you 1,000 copper. Very straightforward. Moving on from there, salvage is going to be a lot of what you're doing here. This is going to be used to break down stuff or to take special effects out of stuff. Mainly, well, salvage is just to break stuff down in full. So a good example here is going to be, you know, let me find something that, well, you know what, before we even talk about salvaging, let's talk about embedment, because that ties into salvaging. So embedment is how we really customize our gear. We're going to be able to change status effects on our gear. So a good example is if I take this. Typically, you're going to have all 4 of these slots available. Because this is considered a set, I get 3 in the set bonus. But if I go towards, let me sort this out by rarity. You can see this has 4 slots available on it. That has 4 slots available on it. This has 3 slots available. So the idea is the higher star rating, the more slots something is going to have. Very simple concept, right? Now, some stuff is going to be locked. A good example of this is if you look at these 4 stars, if I choose the embedment, you'll notice how I can't remove copper obtention. And what I want you to notice is there's like a dot, and it has 2 sides to it next to copper obtention. Think of that like a lock. Whereas these 2 are just the left side and the dot. So that is, it's like a lock that is currently open. So if I want, I can go over here and I can extract that bonus off, and then I can replace it with something else. Now, there's going to be unique bonuses, such as this, that are going to be one-time use. Something like if I were to go to this new empty slot, there is a bunch of stuff that I can pull from to put on that slot. That's going to be... Here, I don't have enough jewel fragments. Hang on. We got to do a big salvage here in a second. I'm going to take off spirit sustainability. Well, typically I'd be able to pull stuff like this. Spirit sustainability, spirit attack, spirit defense, lightning attack power, flame attack power, etc., etc. And I can use all of these as much as I want. But then I have stuff like this. You'll notice it's on the right side there, salvageable jewelry essence. And that means this is a unique bonus that's going to provide spirit damage to that weapon based on my character's overall stone attack power. And if we hit the menu button, we can also see that. Increase spirit damage dealt in proportion to your stone attack power. So anytime you see something like that, that is considered a unique. And you always want to extract those uniques. Those uniques are always going to be valuable because they're single use. So, what I would do is, we're going to be changing up our set shortly here, but just to kind of give an idea of how I'd go through this, I would look at my current weapons. Let me see what I'm rocking, figure out what I want to put on. I'm always going to go by rarity. So these are water. Yep, that's going to be perfect. I'll put those on, even though I don't care about the copper. Damage dealt in perfect condition. That's also really good. Well, we're already going to get dual blades. Let's get rid of those. Instead, I'll put this pulled spear on, since that way I have something different. Let me look at the abilities here, see if I like this. And then plum red is a backflip. Yeah, so we're going to do that. And then our set, the general of man armor, we're not going to change that at all. I'm fine with that because it's a set bonus. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go salvage.
Some more sleep.
And typically,
Maybe
I'm going to salvage everything. Now, before you salvage, like I said, you want to look at your equipment. Are there any weapons that you want to change up? Are there any armor pieces that you want to change up? The ranged weapons, do you have high ranged weapons on? Do you have accessories even? Make sure that you have on exactly what you want to have on. And then you would go to salvage. We're going to tab over to where we're at all. We're going to check all. And then we're going to salvage it all. And you can see salvaging everything. I got anything that was leveled up. So if there was like a weapon that had +1, I'm going to get rank 1 steel from that. Any armor that had +1, I'm getting rank 1 leather from that. All the stuff that we salvaged, of course, gave us jewel fragments. And we got Spirit Fervor upon Fatal Strike and Power Gain on Deflecting Critical Blow. Those are 2 effects that were on some of the gear that we had. Now, in general, I'm always going to salvage before I sell. Selling, of course, you can sell, 5,000 a pop, 5,000 a pop, 5,000 a pop. Well, we're not going to sell these stuff, but a normal piece of gear is going to sell for about 5,000. Armor is going to sell for 3,000 or so. But when you salvage something, you're going to get a bunch of those little things that you saw. Where did they go? Where did they go? There we go. The jewel fragments. And these are worth 1,000 a pop anyway. So honestly, you could sell, but if you take a little bit extra more time to micro, we could go here. And I mean, God, we could sell all of these and we have 900,000 coppers. So honestly, just break down and then sell your jewel fragments. Initially, I told people to break down and then sell what's left over. That was before I realized just how much money you're getting out of the jewel fragments, because we're getting 1,000 per jewel fragment. Whereas if I was to salvage, all this stuff's worth a ton. But if I'm going to salvage this crossbow, that crossbow is giving me 14 jewel fragments. If I was to sell that crossbow, it's giving me 5,000. So I'm getting 5,000 for selling versus 14,000 if I salvage and then sell the jewel fragments. So basically, don't even worry about selling. Just salvage everything you got. Besides that, of course, if we go to buy, we can see a more expanded inventory of weapons to give you an even better idea of what you might want to work towards. But hopefully you have a good idea by this point in the game. But anyway, so that's basically that's the gist here. Is you go here. Now that I have some stuff, I could go to embedment. I could go to the hammer, choose embedment slot, and I could pull these off. Just to briefly show how embedment will work. And pull off those statuses, and then I'm going to pick a status that I want. So in this case, I'm all about spirit damage. Spirit damage is what I care about the most. So I'm going to go, and it's usually my spirit attack. So I could go spirit attack, spirit damage, which will increase my triangle by 3.1%. Or I could just go this, and that's going to give me just 2.6% spirit damage across the board. So I'm a big fan of general spirit damage because I use everything. I use normal attacks, I use wizardry. I'm pulling from a lot of different things. So I'm going to slap that on. We have a couple single uses. Stuff like this. Now you might say, hey, why can't we put that on? That's not already on yet. I want you to notice that spirit damage is a red triangle. This bonus is also a red triangle. So because of that, I can't use it. We're only going to be allowed to have one red triangle on our gear. We can have multiple of little gray dots, but we can have one green shield on our gear. And then we can have one blue on our gear, which this gear doesn't have blue, but one blue. So I'm going to also put on spirit damage, spirit gain, pretty straightforward. And then for the less thing, you can see I'm down to an even more limited selection. So here I'm just going to go stone attack power on it. This thing is all about stone. So now I have spirit damage, spirit gain, and a nice little boost to stone attack power. Going on over into upgrades here. I have plenty of rank 2 steel to upgrade that. So we'll boost that on up, making that a little bit stronger. So we're going to wrap things up here. Next episode is going to be in search of the Immortal Wizard. After we get that, we're going to unlock the respec. There's a couple other things to do in the village, but it just makes more sense to do the following mission next before we dive into that. So for now, at least, we are going to wrap things up. We'll go to level here, pump a little bit more into Earth. We'll start next episode off talking about some of the more wizardry related spells that we have unlocked. But yeah, otherwise hit travel, go to part 3, and In Search of the Immortal Wizard is happening next.